Hello, hello, welcome to my channel, 100 Days with Kajo. It is day 23 of building our personal constitution. Today we'll be focusing on our food palette. It's just something fun, super easy. Like, this isn't as deep of a conversation like our relationship with our body, relationship with our food. Like, it's time to just relax a little bit and just have our do's and don'ts of what we will eat. Before we get into that, I want to ask you guys, like, do you listen to your body, like, when you feel discomfort when you eat food? For example, for me, for a really long time, I was lactose intolerant, did not know I was lactose intolerant. And growing up, I would just eat ice creams, I would eat cake, I would eat cheesecake. Oh my God. Right memories. It's been a long time with cheesecake. I haven't had cheesecake in a really long time. And it would just, what? It would, what? Fuck me up. Fuck me up so bad. And I thought it was normal. I thought this was something that everybody just went through and like you just have to deal with it. This is just the consequences of dairy. No, I'm lactose intolerant. Just didn't know that. It wasn't until I decided to take dairy out of my diet to where all of a sudden I don't have bubble guts 100% of the time. And you guys, I would eat anything dairy. I mean, macaroni and cheese, ice cream, milk. I used to drink milk every night. I liked when my milk would sit out a little bit. I was a little weird. You know, I like room temperature milk. Very odd activities. Messed me up. Took it out of my diet and I was in peace. It was quiet. I wasn't farting. I wasn't having bubble guts. Excuse me, this is FYI, but I'm telling you how important it is to actually listen to your body when you are uncomfortable. And when I finally took out dairy from my diet, I said, oh, this is what life is. This is what beauty and bliss and peace truly tastes like. And I was like, okay. So I got excited and I took out meat. I took out eggs and I became vegan for a while. And now I'm eating fish again. Again, this is why we're doing the do's and don'ts. But I was able to understand like what my body likes, what my body dislikes. Another thing is cashews, right? I eat peanuts, I eat walnuts, I eat pistachios, I eat cashews, I eat all of it, right? And I never really had issues with nuts. And there was some point, let's say like high school, where I just started to notice that I had a sensitivity to cashews and I wasn't truly understanding why. And it was whenever like my dad would have cashews in his car. So I thought, oh, it's because it's car cashews. It's warm outside and sitting in the car. Like, that's why I'm getting, like, nauseous. And that's why my stomach's, like, feeling weird. So I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't eat cashews enough to really even think about it often. Then one time I ate it in the house. Like, I think several times. But there was just one particular time I ate it in the house. I thought I was gonna die. And I didn't have an allergic reaction. I didn't like break into hives. My stomach was so uncomfortable and I literally thought I was gonna throw up. And I was like, I need to go to the hospital. What the heck? Went to the bathroom, stayed in the bathroom. And I was like, I'm never eating cashews again, right? Stopped eating cashews. I was good. I was like, let me test it out. Tasted it. Boom. I was like, okay, I can't have cashews. Mind you, if I didn't pay attention to my body, if I didn't pay attention to my body and I just kept eating it, like I'd be uncomfortable all the time. And part of loving yourself and knowing that you're worthy and appreciating your life is seeing discomfort, feeling discomfort and addressing it and saying, okay, I'm no longer going to do this to myself now that I am aware, now that I know. Because then that builds trust with your body and builds trust within yourself. Because if you can listen to discomfort in your body, you can listen to your intuition and your gut about important decisions, about people, about going places. Where you need to dose yourself with trust through your food. Oh my God, this kind of got deep. I know this is supposed to be fun and flirty. And also, this goes with I'm looking at my notebook, our relationship with food. But anywho, I had to listen to my body. And the dairy example and the cashew example were like clear indicators of like, yo, like I can't eat just anything. Like I need to pay attention. Right? And when you think about those situations where you're like, okay, whenever I eat this, I feel weird. Whenever I drink this, something happens in the bathroom for an hour, then you need to list ways where you can pay attention, right? Automatically for me, it's my stomach, right? Sometimes like I don't think I have an allergic reaction to anything. So I won't like break out to hives. I won't like get red in the face. Clearly I won't like get itchy. So I know that my body doesn't react in like rashes or like itchiness when there's foods that I don't like, because I know that's how some people are, which I guess serves as an allergic reaction. Another thing, my dad, when he eats foods that are not for him, he gets a cough. And for a really long time he would get this cough and it was like it was really bad. It was really bad. And we constantly went to the doctor. He finally got an allergy test for it. And he can't eat cashews. Funny, right? Like after years before, I already made a decision not to eat cashews. Then years later, we find out that he has a sensitivity to cashews and tree nuts and whatnot. He can't have corn. He can't have like certain foods because it causes the cough. And it's like, wow, like had he had just listened to his body and like kind of test out what's making him cough, and he'd eat nuts all the time. He'd eat cashews all the freaking time. I feel like the only times we'd had cashews was like in his car, like because he loved to eat it to work when we travel, whatever. And had he listened to his body and said like, okay, you know what, like I hadn't had cashews in a while, and then when I eat the cashews, all of a sudden I'm coughing like crazy, then he would have like been able to fix that issue a lot sooner and not had to have endured so much. So for him, it manifested in like a cough. Like he coughs. He doesn't really have like, well, I mean, he doesn't tell me, but he doesn't have any stomach issues. For me, I have stomach issues. So you need to figure out like, how does your body react? Is it rashes? Is it coughing? Is it stomach issue? Do you get dizzy and nauseous? Do you like what negative ways do you react to certain foods? So that way it's like a clear indicator like, yo, let me chill out, not doing that. The next thing I want you guys to do is like ask yourself and write this down, like how often do you put food in and take food out of your diet, and like how well your body responds to it, which is what we literally just talked about. The reason I said this was because I was vegan for a really long time, from my sophomore year of high school till my senior year in college, and a little bit afterwards, but whatever, I'm not really gonna get into that. But I decided I'm gonna put fish back into my diet because fish had never really gave me any issues the same way maybe chicken and red meat did when I did eat it. So I was like, okay, like let me introduce fish again, especially since I love to work out, and I wanted to make sure I had enough protein in my diet, and that I was maintaining, sustaining my body in the right way. So I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to force myself with like more food, maybe I just need to have like more protein dense meals. So I slowly started with like tuna because it's safe, and then I went from tuna to tilapia, and then from tilapia salmon, which I don't know if it was in that direct order, but like those three were definitely the first. And then I slowly introduced like shrimp, I slowly introduced crab. I don't really eat lobster or oh well, okay, I had crab cake, right? So it wasn't really crab, but other than that, like I haven't really introduced like other types of fish, maybe cod here and there. I don't think I've had catfish since, but I was slowly introducing fish into my diet because I knew like my body needed to get used to it. So like, how often do you take things out and put them in without like really testing to see if your body likes it, if you're responding well to it? Like if you're just constantly just like changing your food palette, then like I feel like you're confusing your body. You want to make sure that you are giving yourself enough time to adjust to these things. For instance, like I also got on birth control like a year ago. I wanted to get on it because of like my acne. I felt like it was hormonal because I was doing all the right things. Again, I think I'm having like gut issues, and that's why I have this section for my food palette, because I want to have a list of things that I'm eating and that I'm not eating to kind of test out the water. And then like if I test something and I'm like, whoa, like this gave me issues, I put it in my don't list, right? Anywho, I got on birth control because I wanted to understand or to see if my acne was hormonal, and it is, right? I still have blemishes here and there. I do think it's partly because of my environment as well. But I had to slowly introduce it. I had to give it time. I gave it like 3-4 months before I made that real proper evaluation to see if it's working, and it was working. Like, how long are you willing to try something out to see if it's affecting you positively or negatively before you like take it out or like put it in? Because you don't want to constantly like keep switching things over and over and over, because then you can't actually get an idea of like, is it good for you? Another thing is I started taking folic acid. It's like supposed to help with your reproductive health. It's supposed to help with like your skin. It's supposed to help with like all other things. And I started maybe a month ago, and I won't be able to properly evaluate it for until like maybe summertime, when its effects like fully kick in into my system. So are you logging things down? Do you have a journal to like kind of say like, oh well, as soon as I tried this I got a rash, as soon as I try this it actually wasn't too bad, or I'm actually not really seeing anything, it's been 2 months, but you know what, I'm gonna give it maybe another 2 months because I'm not seeing anything negative. Then what's the harm of like keep trying? So like, you want to have a log of things that you try and like the way that it affects you, because again, that is a form of loving yourself. You are considering your needs, you're considering what you like. How can you search that out from somebody else when you can't do that for yourself. And I say that example not to center relationships and compare how you treat yourself to relationships, truly. But I understand that like romantic relations are like a really, really big thing in everyone's lives. Everyone wants it. Everyone's like yearning for it and blah, 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 blah. But if you can't do certain things for yourself that show you that you love yourself, and I'm not even talking about buying a whole bunch of things or taking yourself out and blah, blah, blah. If you can't do simple day-to-day check-ins and checkups, which is what we're going to talk about soon, the checkup section, how can you expect someone to be considerate of your needs as well? Like, they still can, but you set the standard. So if you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on things for you, and someone trying to come over with a measly 2, you can clock it and move on and say, no, this is what I do for myself, and you're not going to come into my space and give me less. Right? That's the type of energy that you want, that you love yourself and see yourself in such let me calm down. Taking this hat off. You see yourself in such a high regard that nobody else can like even match you, right? They have to try to match you or surpass you. And this is one of the ways that you love yourself. Okay, it's not just about doing your nails and fixing your hair and taking yourself on a date. That's cool, but are you doing the little stuff? Are you listening to your body when your body says, I'm lactose intolerant? If you are lactose intolerant and you're still eating dairy, you're walking around bubble gut, you have a problem. You don't like yourself. You don't love yourself. I don't care if there's medication. Stop it. Take it out your diet. It's not for you. It's not for you. Okay? Oh, I was about to say something mean. You know what? If you can't take out dairy from your diet and know that it's not for you, but you're going to eat it anyway, what do you think you're going to do with a guy when he comes around, he's not for you and he's treating you bad? The dairy's treating you bad and you're keeping it around. What do you think you're going to do with a man? What do you think you're going to do with a man? Maybe that's a stretch, but think about it. Think about it. Okay. Last thing. I really went on a rant. We'll have a list of do's and don'ts, right? Your do's of what you're going to eat, your don'ts of what you're not going to eat, and then you have a little section of I'm trying and testing this out, and what ways you're going and what ways you're going to keep track of whether these things are working for you. If you're going to have a mini journal, like literally, you can get this from, hold on. Boom. You can get this from the Dollar Tree. See, I already have like some things written in it and stuff. To like kind of log how things are working for you. This can be for medication, for food, for drinks, for skincare, just a little notebook to where you can keep track of what is positively and negatively affecting you. And in your personal constitution, you can clearly write like, don't ever, ever eat this. Don't ever, ever, ever use this. And you can always refer back to, especially if you forget, let's say in your 20s, I'm in my 20s, vitamin D12 vitamins messed me up. They messed me up so bad. Like, they gave me the runs. It was so embarrassing. It was actually so embarrassing. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. But I know for a fact I'm never taking vitamin D12 vitamins. Jesus. D12 vitamins. I'm never taking them. And let's say in my 50s, my doctor's like, D12 vitamins, and I forgot that it messed me up. I can refer to my personal constitution, be like, okay, my food palette, and you can have like a subsection of medication. I'm like, oh, all right. Here I said that when I was 23, my D12 vitamins messed me up. They gave me the runs. They made me uncomfortable. I was really sick. And I'll tell my doctor, like, hey, like, this is my experience when I was in my 20s. Like, is it safe for me to try that again, given that this is what happened? And if your doctor's like, oh, if that's what happened, then we don't need to do that. I can put you on something else. See, now you can talk to your doctor, like have an actual conversation with your doctor and just be like, I don't know. You know, because you wrote it in your personal constitution. A little FYI, I am creating a personalized affirmation app, and if you haven't done so already, go to my description box, join our emailing listing if you're interested for when it comes out, and to answer my survey so I understand what your needs are. Thank you, I love you, and let's continue with the rest of the video. So here are some of my do's and my don'ts. I'm going to just read a couple of them from my notebook. My do's, obviously I have fish, veggies, fruits, and hydrolyzed collagen. I'm going to add more to it, but this is just the few that I like literally just jotted down. My don'ts are added / refined sugar. I actually cut off sugar from my diet because I wanted to see if it was affecting my skin. I want to say yes. Overall, I think it's just good that I took it out and I was able to do that. And I'm going to talk about how I did that in just a second. Give me a second. Dairy, obviously, I just told you guys how it's been messing me up since birth. I don't eat eggs. I don't eat like meat. So like red meat, white meat, like chicken or, steak and beef and pork and blah, blah, blah. But I eat fish. No cashews, just talked about that, and no D12 vitamins, just talked about that. So with the added and refined sugar, how I took it out of my diet, just a little advice, because when I first started trying to take it out of my diet, it was so confusing and stressful. I didn't really understand like how I could do it. But pretty much whenever I go shopping, of course you buy like whole produce foods. That's honestly the way to go. But like, let's say you're busy like me, and you like to buy frozen, like I just buy like regular frozen veggies and fruits and whatnot. They don't have added stuff. I always look at the label. Always look at the label. Because a product, I was just having this conversation with my mom. Products will do greenwashing where they'll say like, oh, no sugar, no sugar. And then you look in the back and it says like 50 grams of sugar alcohol. That's how they get you. That's how you get you. That's how they get you. And I've actually saved so much money from not eating sugar. I used to get chocolate bars every single week because I love chocolate. I talk about this all the time. I love sweets, right? And I was like, nope, no refined sugar. And like when you go, you're like, oh, everything is refined sugar. And it's stressful. So you go to the store, you look at the nutrition facts, you see that it has no sugar, no added sugar. Let me emphasize that, because there are foods that have naturally occurring sugars, especially like fruits and stuff. But if it says like 15 grams of sugar, but then 14 of those grams are added, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Same with chips. Chips have sugar, chips have dairy, chips have eggs. There's a lot of chips that I can't eat, right? Again, it saves me money, but also I'm eating healthier foods. So I'll look in the back, and if it says like added sugar, but it's like less than 1 gram, okay, I can deal with that, So you kind of have to go into the grocery store with ample amount of time to really see what can you buy, and read through everything, and you'll see like, okay, there's a lot that I cannot eat, but it saves me money, but there are plenty of things that I can't eat. And there are things where you look at it, you're like, oh, this has no added sugar. I had no freaking idea. And you're super happy because I'm like, I had no idea that this would be somewhat healthy. Like, that's insane. So you just don't, of course, look at sodium levels too, but I'm focusing on sugar. So that's how I was able to minimize it and take it out of my diet. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I know I went like on a little baby rant about a number of things, but this is just a fun section, again, of your do's and don'ts of your foods and what you allow, and being able to refer back to it and know like later on that you're like, oh, okay, this was my experience, all that stuff. So just literally jot down anything in your do's and don'ts, medication, foods, like whatever. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in our next video.